Hey, pregnant mamas. I am 32 weeks pregnant, so I figured why not do some yoga with some other mamas that are in their third trimester as well, so as to show what is really feeling possible at this length of pregnancy at this point in time. I would suggest 2 blocks, as cat shredded as they might be or dog shredded as they may be. If they're still in block form, you can still use them. It's good times. A pillow that's soft for support. And if you don't see a blanket, or if you do see a blanket and it's just off camera, just go ahead and grab that blanket and fold it so it's not quite a big rectangle, but a nice little small rectangle. Just to have a variation of support mechanisms. My name is Vanessa. We're gonna go ahead and get into a nice seated position, and I'm going to help guide you through some prenatal yoga poses that feel possible at this stage of pregnancy. And if you are tired like me today, but we're powering through, I am so proud of you. I just have to say, I'm very proud of you for coming here and joining me for some stretchies, because it's getting hard each day that passes, but it's okay. You're gonna find yourself in a nice seated position, and you're gonna move any excess flesh out of the way. I myself am in a cross-legged position. Please partake in that if that feels comfortable. If you need a cushion underneath you for this cross-legged position, please help yourself. I am not on a mat, just to prove a point that you don't always need a mat. I have several yoga mats. You don't always need a yoga mat, so it's okay. I am, however, on a couple layers of carpet for my knees because they need it. Okay, so you're gonna go ahead and breathe in through your nose, all the way to the top of your lungs, and breathe out. You don't need to hold your breath if it makes you feel lightheaded. Breathing in, all the way to the top, and breathing out. Breathing in through your nose, and breathing out through your mouth. And just feel your spine straighten over the seated pose. You feel your shoulders push back like you're in a nice dress and you want to show off the collarbones. You've got your chin pushed in, so you've got maybe a little bit more of a double chin than normal, or a new one if you hadn't had one yet. Good job, by the way. And you just feel the entirety of your spine. We know it's curved, but just imagining it being as straight as possible, as if you're being pulled up by strings from the top of your head. Breathing in and breathing out, and maybe your eyes are closed. Maybe they're open, gently open. Breathing in and breathing out. And let's go ahead and take our chin to our chest and slowly rotate that head around your shoulders, in the back, and your chest. 360 degrees, just thinking about stirring the pot slowly as you feel called to do so, allowing each ligament, tendon, muscle to just really enjoy the slow circling. Breathing in and breathing out. And so I'm in my third round, And when my chin meets my chest, I'm gonna go in the other direction. Breathing in. And breathing out as I reverse directions. And if you feel called to do a couple more stretches in one direction, please, please continue to do so. I am merely a suggester that you are the navigator of your ship. I am on my second round and about to circle just one more time in this direction for my head. Remembering your breaths. Letting that wind carry you through the ocean. Just relaxing and being present with your body. And when you find your chin to your chest on that final round that you enjoyed, you can slowly raise your head up, roll your shoulders back, and let's just roll our shoulders forward a few times in a circle. Breathing in, and breathing out, and then evening it out, reverse to the juicy part of the shoulder roll, where you roll your shoulders backwards. Maybe do a couple extra here, because this one always feels great for me. And if it doesn't feel great for you, that's okay. Just stick to at least 3. And then when you found yourself finished with that, let's go ahead and raise up our arms, pushing our shoulders in towards our body and keeping our arms nice and straight. They're going to be horizontal to the floor, parallel to each other, hands closed in fists, and spin your fists in circles. Remembering your breaths, trying to keep your elbows as straight as you can, and go ahead and reverse in the other direction. Ignoring my cats. I will do my best to also ignore them. Breathing in and breathing out. And then let's just go ahead and leave one arm straight and open up one palm, and you're going to take your other hand and pull back on your fingers like so, and just feel a nice stretch in these tendons right here. Okay, breathing in and breathing out. And go ahead and reverse so that your fingers are on, your hand is on top of your fingers. Breathing in and breathing out. Just go ahead and dance that wrist out, and then go ahead and raise your other hand, arm, and then you're going to take the opposite hand, breathing in, breathing out. And just being very grateful for your hands, how strong they are, breathing in. And you're switching the direction so that it's flopping forward, and you're going to push in on this part of your hand with your free hand. Breathing out. And let's just go ahead and dance our wrists out. And then what I want you to do is raise your hands up in a big rainbow arch, breathing in. And if you can look towards the sky, do so. Drop your shoulders, or if maybe you need to look just in front of you horizontally, it's also okay. And just continuing your breaths. And then go ahead and drop down one side, and then reach over another hand over you in a nice little curve like a dancer. And the hand that's on the floor, your elbow is going to be bent for support, so that you don't feel too strong of a strengthening in the straightening of your arm. And you're going to drop your shoulder on the arm that's bent as well towards the floor. Breathing in and breathing out. And you can go ahead and dance your wrists down on the floor as you switch sides, bending the elbow for the arm that's supporting you. And bending the arm that's above you as well. And just looking up, breathing in and breathing out. And just enjoying this nice gentle stretch as you create space in your belly, in your womb, for baby to kick around a little bit more in. And just go ahead and return your hands to center. And then from here, we're gonna go ahead and let's try just gently turning towards our right. Breathing in. So I've got my right hand placed behind me. I've got my left hand placed on my right knee. Breathing out and just gently looking towards my right side, opening up that right shoulder blade. And just taking several breaths here. And being grateful for the health that our body is in. Being grateful for the movement we can express. And then on your next natural exhale, slowly return to neutral, breathing in. And breathing out as you turn to the other side, taking your right hand to your left knee and taking your left hand behind your hip, about a half a foot away, and using that as support and just gently opening up that left shoulder. Holding onto your right knee for support. And slowly go ahead and return to neutral. And then let's take our two blocks and back up so, well, you don't have to back up. I'm gonna back up so that you can see a little bit better. But I'm gonna open out my legs into a V position. Normally I can open them a little bit wider, but I want you to see how my toes are activated. So my toes are activated towards my knees, because whenever we do the plantar flex with our feet while we're pregnant, it really activates the trolley horse setting in our bodies if we happen to be missing just a gram of water in our daily intake. So just go ahead, activate those toes towards your knees, breathing in, breathing out. You're gonna place your blocks either on the highest setting, if that's what calls to you, and just leaning forward. So I'm gonna open up my legs a little bit more now. And you can just lean forward and just, it doesn't have to be a big stretch. You're just leaning forward and activating some of the muscles that haven't been saying hello to you lately in a friendly way. And I'm already noticing an excellent stretch here. That's not too much. Breathing in and breathing out. And if it feels good, you can take the blocks a little bit further out. Maybe you have them on their medium setting and a pillow on top of them. And maybe you feel like you can reach forward a little bit more. I have been sitting a lot today. I've been sewing a dress, which has been really fun. So I don't feel like doing that today. But if your hips are feeling it, then you go for that. Breathing in and breathing out. Now we're gonna go ahead and roll forwards onto our knees as gently as we can without hurting our hips. And I want you to find yourself in a nice tabletop position. In tabletop, you're gonna make sure that your hands are directly placed underneath your shoulders, and your hands feel like they're getting sucked into the floor, so they're super flat into the floor. Your fingers are activated, your palms are flat, just really flat into the floor. I don't want to see any, or I don't want to imagine any gapping on your hands. And if your knees are directly below your hips and that's not calling to you, you can widen them a little bit so that they're a little bit wider than your hips. And your feet can either be on their toe pads or on the back of the feet. And today, that feels okay with me today, so I think I'll do that. So now I'm gonna go ahead and start just feeling the stabilization of this tabletop and letting my stomach hang, letting the weight off of my hips. And normally when we do cat and cows, we feel our shoulders really activate. But when we do these cat and cows, so I'm gonna start in a cow, I'm just gonna pick up my hips and gently look up. I'm not really stretching my upper back very much. And then I'm gonna slowly just focus on the lower spine, going into a nice cat stretch. Just visualizing the bottom half of my spine, not the entirety of the spine. Not anymore. Breathing in and breathing out. Just go ahead and naturally go with your breath as it feels good for your cats and cows, and just letting your hips dance up and down. And if this feels wonderful and you feel called to do more with your hips, you can go ahead and start doing pelvic circles. And you can go as lightly as you want with those or as deeply as you want it. So I'm going to just roll forward slightly towards my fingertips and slowly roll in a circle 360 degrees with my spine, keeping my hands and my knees nice and stable. Keeping the hands flat. And if you feel you need to, you can widen your knees a little bit more here. Breathing in and breathing out. And if you feel like this feels wonderful and you want to just throw in a child's pose, go for it, all the way. And you can lay there for a little bit. But I'm going to keep up with the pelvic circles just in case we have other friends that still feel like moving their hips a little bit more before they bend down into a child's pose. And let's go ahead and go in the other direction. Reversing and remembering your breaths. And then I want you to go ahead and I'm going to turn so you can see me better. I want you to take one side of your legs. So I'm going to take my right knee, right foot, and I'm going to put it away from my body about a foot. I would say that looks. And then I'm going to go ahead and go into pelvic circles like this. And if that is too much or too little, you can also experiment with where your body is today. And you can just leave your tabletop stagnant and move and you can move your foot towards you a little bit more and move just your knee in a circle. So you can pick between the two, which one feels better for you. This one actually feels a little bit better for me than the first way I was doing the tabletop with the pelvic circles. And go ahead and rotate that knee in the other direction, or rotate your pelvic region in the other direction if the first way called to you. And then take your hand down, take that right knee down, take the opposite knee up. Maybe you started with your left. And you're gonna go ahead and try and see which feels good. So you can either have your foot out a little bit more from you and go into extended tabletop with pelvic circles. So with extended tabletop, actually, your hands are gonna reach out a little bit more. So you're not quite in tabletop, but you still feel stable and secure. You don't want too much of a stretch in your hands and arms going forward. But this really isn't calling to me today. So I'm just gonna continue with just keeping my hand on that knee and just going in a circle gently here instead of moving the entirety of my body around. And go in the other direction for whichever exercise that you were trying just now. And just pick your favorite that feels right for you, okay? And go ahead and return that knee to the floor. And then let's do a nice child's pose. I'm gonna throw a blanket down, and so my knees are nice and wide. My toes are meeting in the middle. And I've got a pillow on top of my blanket. And I'm just gonna slowly feel out where it's comfortable. Maybe you just throw another block in. And just drop my forehead down on that block or pillow. And just breathing in and breathing out. Slowly coming out. And the reason I have all these buffers is, well, you know, as the womb gets a little bit larger, there's less space to really lay down on the floor. We're gonna go ahead and lay down in a nice shavasana together today. I surprised myself, 22 minutes so far. I really thought it would just be a 10-minute day. So I'm gonna lay down with a pillow underneath my head, and I'm gonna back up so you can see me better. I'm gonna lay on my side, whichever side calls to you first. And then I'm gonna take my left knee and just bend that knee towards me. Breathing in, I'm rotating my foot, so I love to do that in both directions. Breathing out. So you just have a half egg going on here with your shavasana. And then I'm going to take my free hand, or top hand, and then take the back of my foot and stretch. Breathing in and breathing out. And then I'm going to straighten, slowly straighten. And if this is all that feels good today, you don't feel like you can pull it any further, then you can just leave it here. So my hand is on my thigh, and I'm just stretching the leg towards my body and breathing out. Because you don't want to push yourself too much. You don't have to, not yet. It's not time until baby's ready to come out. Then it's time. And then you gotta push yourself a little bit extra. So we're gonna go ahead and go to the other side. Maybe you just roll over because it's easier. But because I'm trying to face a singular direction, here I am, switching sides in the most longest taking form. That's okay, because I want to do this with you. Okay, so you find yourself comfortable on the other side, and we're just going to copy those stretches once you find yourself nice and comfortable. And you've got that top knee stretching towards you. Breathing in and breathing out. And you know what? If your stomach is feeling uncomfortable, you could put your blanket for support too underneath your belly at any time, which I need for this side, definitely. And just feeling that stretch with your upper thigh. And then slowly go ahead and take that upper hand over the top of your foot and pull your leg back, bending your right knee. And then from here, we straighten our leg and just feel the stretch. And just being grateful for the state of your body, for how much work you do on a daily. Nobody's told you good job today. Good job. You're doing a wonderful, amazing thing. Go ahead and lower that leg. And slowly just get comfortable here. And let's just go into a shavasana from this pose. I'm going to take my blanket and put it between my legs. But if you have like an extra pillow near you, you can also just leave that blanket underneath your belly and take that pillow and put it either between your legs or underneath your belly, whichever you think would feel better. So I've got lots of support. And then from here, let's just go into a nice shavasana together. Just relaxing. And remembering your breaths. Sending loving thoughts to your baby if they happen to start kicking, or if they're just taking a nap, just sending loving thoughts. I'm here with you. I love you. I can't wait to hold you in my arms. And if you feel called to do so, put on some meditative music and stay longer in your shavasana, especially if you've got the time. Utilize that time, okay? But you're also welcome to just stop right here and be proud of yourself for putting in the work that you did today. And look at that. You did almost 30 minutes of yoga. I'm really proud of you. You did a good job. Okay, we'll see you mamas tomorrow, okay? Namaste.